Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is a Bitcoin update, so if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. Yes, as you can see, we did have our move down pretty much to the tick, one of our horizontal levels below. Didn't come down to the 16,500, but we did tick this one. We were able to manage to get back into our previous range here. This range from 20k to about 23.5k, which is obviously good. Back above there, made a move towards what is the midpoint of this range, which is sometimes is an obvious target, to either then break onwards and upwards to the top, or to get rejected there and come back and test the support, which is the path we chose to take. Came back and tested support, tested into this around $20,000 area, and currently trying to bounce off it at the moment. Obviously, this is not the picture of health, not what we want to see, but we obviously know there's macro drivers, all sorts of liquidity problems in finance 1.0, not to mention specific liquidity problems in crypto, not so much Bitcoin, but maybe obviously some of the Ethereum traders and funds. But yeah, if we go to the stock market, it itself is down at this pretty important horizontal, still managing to hold above it at present. But I mean, is it only time? If we go over to a daily, is it only time before this level gets lost? I mean, the trend is your friend. The most obvious area of what could be a bottom, and I'm not saying it would be, but just the first area where it could be would obviously be this range here, from around call it 3,400 down to about 3,200. So maybe 3,200, 3,400. The second area would probably be around this 2,900, and then obviously we're looking at Goblin Town. And if we take out 2,200, then adios. So yeah, a lot of the problems stock markets have is the earnings per share have not really been revised down much, and obviously if we're going to go into any sort of a recession, then we'll have to expect that to get revised down, which then could equal could give us quite significant lows in the stock markets compared to where we are now. But yeah, it looks like we're not ready to make that move as of yet. Market has digested that 75 basis point from the Fed pretty well. Obviously, it was priced in before it was announced. That's why the Fed then did it with its in inverted commas forward guidance. It kind of jawboned the market into it. The market priced it, and then it did it because that's what the market priced. So yes, and the 10-year, as we can see, is giving the Fed some sort of credibility that it is going to have a chance of reining in this inflation, on the basis that we pretty much did halt about 3.5%. Obviously, that evening it's pretty clear that buying from somewhere came in to stop the rot. But yeah, if the Fed is getting a little bit of credibility, maybe it starts smashing out these 0.75s all the time or a couple more times, and yeah, it is going to bring inflation down along with the economy, but it will bring inflation down, which is obviously the main thing for them. So yeah, there you go. Gold struggling obviously in this, not obviously, but gold is struggling in this environment. Oil did break down below this rising channel and this support level. We are on a 4-hour daily. We'll go back to the 4-hour. As you can see, did its best to hold this trend line, hugged this support here, and then got rejected. Back tested it, came back down, looking to back test it again. So realistically, this could break back above and then go bullish. Continue to the upside after what this would then just be an obvious fake out to the downside. I mean, would I have to say that is the most likely scenario? Quite possibly we will regain this support, regain this trend line, and continue back to test the top. Obviously, we know things are structurally bullish, but like I said, the market is massively bullish and long this already, so it kind of meant we were going to struggle to in the short term go much higher, which obviously we had a decent pullback. But then maybe that is the decent pullback. The late longers are now obviously been squeezed out, or now maybe been squeezed out, so maybe it can go back up to the upside. Failing that, the downside is obviously this area here, basically 89 to around 94. That would be, like I said, an obvious target. Taking out this low of 101, I'm guessing that is where we will come down to. But like I said though, this is structurally bullish, and I would expect this to ultimately turn out to be a fake out, squeeze some people out, get some shorters in, and then take us back up. That would be my guess. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Dollar index not doing an awful lot. Not lost this support level though. Tested it a couple of times, not lost it. If we lose it, then yes, we look at lower levels, but not lost it as at present. And until it does, realistically, we're looking bullish. Anything else particularly to look at on here? Tesla had a bit of a bounce here from obviously this level. I mean, for a stock, it is quite a bit of a move, but still clearly in a downward trend, still looking pretty wrecked. But hey, we'll see what happens there. Not particularly sure why I looked at Tesla. I just saw some finance people talking about the massive bounce they saw in Tesla. What actually was it on that particular day? Yeah, 20% is a lot. 19-20% is a lot for a traditional stock. Yeah, but what else do we look at? Not too much else there. Oh yeah, actually, of course there is. Ethereum, just down in the dumps, not hit this level yet. It is just basically skating along the bottom here. Are we just going to fall through this ice, or are we going to continue and basically make our way back up to this resistance and then get rejected? Obviously, this is pretty far away, 1800. We've got a lot closer levels to worry about first, including this around 1270, and then well, yeah, 1600-ish. But obviously, markets are bearish at the moment, so it is going to be a big ask. Bitcoin dominance below the support. Interesting to see, obviously, with what is going on below the support, back into this little area here that we spent a lot of time in. So if we do manage to hold below this support, and we do get a bit of a relief bounce in Bitcoin, then yeah, maybe we do get a test down into this area here and then bounce off there. Have a little bit of a mini alt season, maybe that happens. And then obviously ETH Satoshi pairing below this important resistance, gotta try and break above this area here. Otherwise obviously is looking pretty bearish. But yeah, things will look bearish until they don't. It'll always be darkest before dawn. Still lots of turmoil and things to be worked out in the markets. What I do kind of want to look at is just this weekly chart on Bitcoin, because don't realistically have too much support when we break below this 20k. Once we break below that obviously we have done already, but yeah, once we break and hold below that previous bull run high, we are relatively in relative uncharted territory for downside. I mean, clearly we'll have some horizontals, but with such an aggressive strong trend as we can see on this weekly, who knows where we could get wicks down to. Maybe even around to this around to 10k. We would hope no lower than 14k. But yeah, I mean, I just want to show the precarious nature of this chart. Has been up in a relatively nice trend, but it's hitting the point where maybe we could actually test some more serious downside, which yeah, will be pretty catastrophic. So yeah, obviously we've got to be aware of that. We'll look at stochastics now. How are they looking? Are we gonna get a bit of a medium-term bounce? Well, 4 hour for what it's worth is pointing up. We'll look at some higher time frames though, some more important time frames. Yeah, 10 hour gonna be a downward pressure on price. 12 hour not looking too bad though. Daily turning up from a low level, so obviously that could give us a nice bounce. 2 day looking to turn up from a low level. 3 days still pointing down, 5 day down, weekly down, bi-weekly down, and monthly down. So yeah, like I said, longer term, pretty obvious we're in a downtrend, but can we get a nice medium term bounce? Maybe that daily feed through to the 2 daily, get us going, feed through to the 3 daily, and yeah, maybe we can get a nice move. Where can that move get us? Well, the top of this range we're in at the moment is around 23,000. That is pretty much a a first target. I mean, obviously we could look at higher targets up towards the mid 20Ks if you broke above that, but well, yes, we are basically in a bear market, so it is a big ask to get much above there. Even to get up to that is an ask. So yeah, we just need to see how it's going. Incrementally though, inflation rate of change is declining, so that will feed through into markets. Certainly is feeding through into the bond market. The incremental rate of change in the inputs to the inflation figures. So yes, we will end up probably later on in Q3. We'll probably end up in actual reducing, significantly reducing inflation numbers, which could then obviously help the Fed ease off, but we will have other issues to deal with then. But that will be the point where we deal with the other issues with basically money printing and stimulus, and that will be good for risk assets, whilst obviously the wealth gap continues to increase, and the normal person just gets left behind. So yeah, there we go. Remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.